Hey everyone, what's going on? First off, this update introduced a new layer to the seasonal progression with a feature called Rank Up. It only becomes available once you hit the top of the Season Pass, Tier 100. And what that does is essentially extend the season's reward loop by giving you an extra track of progression after you max the main pass. That means if you were hesitating about whether the season was worth pushing to the end, this is the patch that gives you a real reason to go all the way. Rank Up hands out prestige caches and other rewards, and crucially, it accepts XP from the usual sources. So those XP windows and weeklies you normally run, they matter now more than they did before, because they'll help push you into those rank up rewards faster. If you're aiming for exotics or specific named gear, the prestige caches are the most important new commodity in this update. They've been tuned to increase the chance at high tier drops, which doesn't mean the RNG is gone. It just means you have a better expected value per cache than before. For anyone who cares about re-rolling vendors, selling duplicates, or trading within your group, treat these caches like limited time premium loot. If you're casual, open what you get and play on. If you're trying to min-max and chase specific pieces, hoard a few so you can open them in bulk during a hot streak or right after a maintenance patch when hotfixes sometimes nudge drop behavior. One of the biggest item drops to highlight: a new exotic kneepad named Blacklisters was added to the loot pool, tied into the seasonal climax and manhunt drop tables. Kneepads in this game have a habit of changing viable builds because of their on-item talents, and an exotic kneepad can do that in a hurry. If Blacklisters grants mobility, stability, or a hybrid effect that boosts both damage and survivability, expect a handful of creative builds to emerge within a day or two of players testing it. My suggestion: if you play a role that benefits from movement-based survivability or hybrid offense, prioritize runs that target the climax mission and the end of manhunt finales. Those routes will statistically give you the best shot at exotic drops. The patch also announced a short, focused event called Shepherd that drops a named G36, a weapon type that many players value for its versatility. The Shepherd event runs for a short window and includes boosted XP periods, which is an elegant bit of synergy. You can chase the named weapon rolls and simultaneously progress toward rank up, thanks to the XP spike. If you want the named G36 specifically, make a run plan. Clear the event objectives, swap to the activities that give you priority objectives or weekly projects to maximize XP during that boost, and then run repeats while you fine-tune gear rolls. On the topic of XP, the update made XP events actually contribute to rank-up progression. That's a big QOL change for active players because previously the season pass loop and XP boosts were related, but not always perfectly aligned with late-season reward mechanics. Now you get tangible progression and rank up for time invested in XP windows, which makes planning play sessions easier. Don't waste boosted XP on repetitive low-value chores. Instead, chain weekly projects and manhunt tasks into those windows to get the most bang for your buck. Now let's talk about practical priorities, the kind you can follow in a single session. Step 1. Check your season pass level. If you're close to tier 100, make a focused push to complete the highest XP activities remaining. For most players, that means manhunt scouts, priority objectives, and the weekly projects that have the largest XP payoffs. Step 2. If you've already hit 100 and rank up is live for you, identify which activities reliably drop prestige caches or the new exotic kneepads. In many cases, that will be the climax mission and end of manhunt finales. So build a reliable route and a small playlist of loadouts that maximize survivability and speed. Step 3. Stack XP events when possible. If an XP multiplier is active, you want to run the same high XP activities back to back rather than spreading them out. Momentum matters for both time efficiency and maintaining focus on the roles you want. For solo players, there's a specific approach that helps mitigate RNG and wipe risk. Prioritize the easiest viable difficulty mode for the climax mission, where you can reliably complete objectives without frequent revives. An exotic drop is an exotic drop, and doing more clean, consistent runs increases your expected drop count over time. For groups aiming for speed, bring a balanced comp with one player doing dedicated revive support, one doing crowd control, and two focused on damage. Healers aren't mandatory if your build has self-sustain, but a teammate with strong CC can shave time off each run and increase the number of runs you can complete during an XP window. Before I move on, a word about prestige cache economy. Don't open everything the moment it hits your inventory if you care about maximizing loot value. There's psychological comfort in immediate rewards, but if you're chasing a particular exotic or high-roll named items, hoarding a stack of prestige caches and opening them during a high-activity session or after a maintenance period where hotfixes may be applied can pay off. If you're not chasing specific roles, by all means open them as you get them and enjoy the loot. Just don't vendor what you might need later. Check which caches can drop the item types you want. The patch includes lots of bug fixes and quality of life improvements focused on progression and mission flow. Right after the maintenance that brought the update live, the community reported a handful of edge case progression issues, missing mission completion flags, rewards not registering. So if you encounter weirdness, check official patch threads and community forums. Ubisoft tends to roll out hot fixes for these things pretty quickly when they're widespread. If you hit a blocking bug, gather evidence, timestamps, screenshots, and the exact sequence of steps that led to the problem. That makes support cases go faster and helps the devs replicate issues. Let's move on to build implications and the meta. Exotic kneepads often nudge the meta towards specific playstyles depending on the talent they carry. If Blacklisters increases mobility or augments sprint-based abilities, expect more aggressive flanking and hit-and-run strategies. If it instead reinforces survivability or support-oriented effects, a number of hybrid DPS support builds will likely become more durable and viable in top-level content. My best practice, keep a modular loadout system. Have at least 2 preset builds. One optimized for speed runs where you want to minimize time per clear, and another optimized for survivability and sustained encounters where you need reliability to get through a particularly nasty boss phase. This lets you quickly swap depending on squad composition and mission difficulty. For those who love min-maxing, the update slightly shifts the math around where you invest time. Rather than grinding vendor caches or endlessly farming an obscure boss, put priority time into activities that simultaneously net you XP and prestige cache chances. That's the core of the new economy. XP windows accelerate rank up yields prestige caches, and prestige caches give you shots at exotics. Focused runs therefore give compounding returns. If you're into crafting or marketplace play, you'll see short-term market effects during the Shepherd event and the initial rank up period. Named G36 roles will appear, and players who prioritize the event can flip or hold roles based on perceived value. If you craft, resist the urge to immediately re-roll everything. Compare the market and community values for desirable talents before committing to crafting resources. New exotics often create spikes in demand for complementary mods or perks, so watch the in-game economy and act accordingly. On a tactical level, group composition for Manhunt finales and the Climax mission benefits from bringing a dedicated suppressor/CC build, 1 high-burst DPS, and 1 utility support player who can anchor revives or drop healing zones. If the new kneepad heavily incentivizes mobility, a speedrun team that leverages hit-and-run tactics will clear more runs per hour, which directly increases your expected exotic drops. There's also a timing element. Rank up becomes available the moment you hit tier 100, and the rank up track runs for a specific window during the season. Plan your sessions around the most lucrative XP windows and the duration of the rank up event. If you have limited playtime, focus those hours on prioritized activities that yield both XP and prestige caches. If you're streaming or making content, use the short events like Shepherd as anchor points for community farm sessions. People often coordinate runs to boost drop attempts and exchange tips for faster clears. Some quick troubleshooting notes. If an activity doesn't register as completed, don't immediately assume loss. Log the in-game activity history, check for known issues on the official forums, and if needed, submit a ticket with evidence.